powerlifter, nutritionist, hybrid performance method, and we know Stephanie Cohen and her husband Hayden making a splash onto the scene. I think Stephanie broke how many world records?
In the 20s.
In the 20s.
23, 24.
I'm going to get you closer to this. I want to hear.
But you're no slouch either. So you competed at 165 pounds.
That was my most recent, yeah.
Okay, you are a natural power lifter.
Yes.
I know for a fact. And probably pound for pound one of the strongest human beings ever met. Can you go through your numbers and your totals?
So the last meet 2 weeks ago, I weighed in 164. I did a 606 squat, 380 bench, and 655.
What's that total there?
1642,
okay.
I think.
Damn.
And you're 24 years old.
24, yeah.
Can you talk about how a 24-year-old, you're a young man, is taking such a methodical approach, and how you understand that this path you're on is going to take years, and a lot of young kids your age,
They don't have the patience.
They don't have the patience for it.
Well, actually, when I first started lifting, I mean, people have always thought, they think, oh, you're really strong right away. No, when I first started, I literally was lifting the bar and struggling. And then I just loved the fact that I could slowly add on weight week by week, month by month. And that ever since then, that was just the approach I took, and haven't really stepped away from that, and really took my time, like wasn't really getting injured, and every time I saw people go away from that and like try and add too much weight or do too much at once, they just get injured and then they get set back. And ever since I really started, that was the approach I took.
What compelled you to compete? Like what prompted you just to start doing that?
So I was playing university football, and in my third year, I just really wanted to focus on school, but I always just loved lifting and like pushing myself in the gym and getting better, like you were saying. So I went to one of my friends' competitions, and I didn't know what powerlifting was, and saw it. It was all squat, bench, deadlift. I'm like, oh, I'm already doing all this, and I saw some people competing. I'm like, oh, I can compete with these guys. So I signed up for a meet, I think 4 weeks later, and ended up doing really well. I guess I had like the second highest total in my weight class at that time for my first meet. So just kind of went through the process, did a provincial meet next, and then did a national meet 4 months later, won nationals, and then I went to Worlds, which is awesome. Came second at Worlds, and that's when like it kind of all snowballed. Met Steffi and Hayden, and then went to Boss of Bosses, cut for this weight class, and yeah. But
you're really, I mean, you are a powerlifting coach, but it seems like your path is really going down the nutrition route.
Yeah, it's more on the nutrition side. So Hayden and Steffi hired me as a nutrition coach. It kind of works hand in hand, I think, and they saw that. I find a lot of powerlifters don't even they just disregard nutrition. They think I just need to eat as much as possible to get strong. Whereas the way I approached it, I was eating really properly for football, trying to like be super lean so I can run faster. And that was the same approach I took for powerlifting. Be as lean as possible, like fuel my body properly, focus on recovery, focus on sleep, focus on stress. And they saw that in me when I started hanging out with them, and they thought I'd be a great fit.
I asked Don this a lot, and I asked somebody earlier, I believe Michael Hearn, why is it now still most people are not following the direction you're going? They're still just eating as much as they can. Like this information is out there. Why has it not penetrated the masses yet?
It's the long way. Like you can take all these supplements, take anabolics or whatever, and not focus on sleep. You'll get those results fast. You'll get that within a month. People love that. People love those 30-day challenges and seeing the results getting shredded fast. Whereas if I tell someone, do this and you'll see results in a year, maybe, and that's if you're consistent, that's a hard sell.
Well, what's always been difficult for me, and you know me, and I'm somewhat of a purist, but I'm not a power lifter. And yeah, there was that era, and CT Fletcher was talking about it. CT Fletcher, super strong guy, heart transplant this last year, and he was talking about back in the day, he was just shoving cheeseburgers down his throat. And a lot of powerlifters out there I don't know if they don't understand or they're just lazy, but the hormonal effect. I mean, Jordan was talking about this morning. We were talking about In-N-Out Burger. And I'm like, if I went and I had an In-N-Out Burger right now, I'd be fine. But if I overstayed my welcome and started eating chicken fingers after that and ice cream, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna be zapped. How am I gonna be able to lift optimally? How am I gonna recover optimally? How many days is that gonna take for me to be able to detoxify?
But I think it's what you said, right? So the recovery aspect, I don't think a lot of, I don't want to say uneducated, but it's like a lot of people that aren't looking into it are just thinking about the training, and not thinking about the stress and the sleep and all the components you're talking about. I don't know how if they're really prioritizing it. I know you beat that drum a lot about how it's important, but again, I still just don't get it. If I'm an elite competitor, or I want to be, it's like taking that advice seems to me like it's just critical.
Well, you're leading by example with that,
right?
Because there's not a lot of people doing what you're doing right now, correct?
Yeah, correct.
All right, so talk about that a little bit.
Like how I'm leading, or
yeah, I mean, how are you eating? You're putting so much emphasis into sleep and recovery, and
is it a weird position?
It's
to be
really
in, you know?
it's really just the basics, and I think for a lot of people it seems so simple. Like if I say someone you're going to lift more just from going to bed at 10, 11 and getting 8 hours, they're like, oh really? And they don't see those effects right away, but it all compounds. Those small things just compound. And it's like I said, it's kind of like a hard sell, whereas you can take something and then see it the next day.
It's all stress to the body, though.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, when you overstay your welcome with sleep, or I say overstay your welcome with alcohol, or overstay your welcome with cheat meals, this is all an additional stress to the body.
Yeah.
And when do we all feel great? When we're on vacation,
yeah,
and we're not riding the train into the city,
we're relaxed,
and we're not tense, and we're relaxed, and then you come back and you're like, I feel great. And talk about right now, you're at Hybrid. If someone wants to find you, if they want to train with you, because I know right now we've been even walking around the expo a little bit. People are recognizing you. They're coming up to him. They want to work with him. Where are they?
But how does that? Before we get into, how does that feel? Like, I mean, is it not something that it seems like you're a guy that sought that out? That just to be a fitness celebrity. So, was it weird? Is it weird? Like, do you still feel a little like self-conscious, or do you just embrace it and just fuck it, man?
I kind of just embrace it, because like I said, this is stuff I've always done. Like I've always worked hard in the gym. I knew that sleep was important, nutrition was important. Like I remember being 12, 13 years old when I go to the gym, like I'm making sure I'm getting my nutrition, and I have to go to bed early to recover. My workout's gonna be better the next day. So for me, it's like I'm doing the same thing.
Right.
It's just I'm older now and seeing more results because it's all compounded.
And it's in the public eye a lot more right now.
Yeah, with social media.
So where are they going to find you? I mean, a lot of people, like I said, we saw a lot of people approaching you. Where are they going to find you, Hybrid, if they want to train with you?
So all nutrition inquiries are through Hybrid Performance Method, and you can refer me. And then on Instagram, Simon Chang 3, and then through Hybrid Performance Method, they've been like reposting me a lot.
Sweet.
One of the most impressive Instagram channels when it comes down to his lifts. Yeah. I love watching them. I've become a fan there.